Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with the return of Old Man Logan and his trial event for his unlock here for those of you that do have access to his account. Now, the reason this is in slide format is because, guys, in my endgame account, this is no longer visible to those that already fully unlocked Old Man Logan at 7 stars. So that's why you see this format here. In the lower level accounts, you'll see his event returning. So in this video, guys, I want to walk you through real quickly how to unlock Old Man Logan as he still remains to be in Marvel Strike Force is one of the most impactful legendary characters that you can get your hands on, and just value all across the board, and just a superb character in terms of the legendary status. So hopefully this can help you guys set up for the unlock. Ultimately, I also have guides from my previous nodes I was able to go through, so I'll link all that below if you guys are having challenges with specific nodes. But in this video, we're going to be going high level how you can maximize the rewards for these events when Old Man Logan is back here for the unlock here. So just as a quick little recap, remember that Marvel Strike Force and Scopely released a summary table here to kind of encapsulate here, what is going to be the total in terms of how to unlock him, right? So for example here, if you want to get through a 4 yellow star of Old Man Logan in that middle column there, you simply need all Scourges or packs activated, and you actually just need to do 8 missions on difficulty 8. Conversely, if you have a gear tier 15, 16 plus team, and you set the difficulty there, as you can see on the bottom, at difficulty 14 or 15, you actually only need to do 1 to 3 missions, depending on what yellow star you want to unlock of Old Man Logan. So there's some shortcuts to doing it, right? So for those of you newer to the game, you're actually able to even bypass doing a lot of missions and requiring a lot of different teams if you just boost up one team and do the one mission on difficulty 15 or 14, ultimately getting Old Man Logan's unlock. And remember, once you get him unlocked, build him up, you can definitely utilize him as well in the actual trials event for some of the nodes. So just a little bit of value add right there, but just something to be on the lookout for, guys. Yeah, not sure what happened there, guys. Sorry about that. Packs full completion. So just as a quick reminder as well, if you have difficulty 15, you only need to do the 9 nodes here for actually all the rewards. So these are the packs that I would recommend if you're trying to do the full completion, not just the minimum unlock. This is how I was able to do it in my endgame account. So you can see here, mods added a total of 65 there. And you really only need these big ones. So we had Godspeed Spider-Man, which gives benefit to the Spider Society characters also being part of this event. We had Berserker's Barrage, when any character defeats an enemy, fill up the speed bar, which helps out a lot of allied in terms of gaining turn meter. And a big one here is Forged in Fire and World at War, because both these modifiers here actually activate both the Cosmic Crucible and War bonuses, which can make some of the teams thrive in this kind of setting. So that's why it's very important to know where you want to land with this event overall. Do you want the minimum unlock by just doing the one node at difficulty 14 or 15? Or in this slide here, do you want to actually complete all the rewards? And like I said, if you're doing it at difficulty 15, only 9 nodes are required, so as long as you have these mods activated. And that was kind of what was done in my past video. So now we're going to go through each node here in terms of the best teams and any tips to go through. So node 1, any team it can be utilized, right? So obviously, because we have War and Crucible teams with their bonuses activated, we'll have some of the teams that we already require, such as Cabal and Out of Time. The reason they're mentioned is because they're actually required for the event. So if you already have them, they can give you a little bit of extra value there. Otherwise, feel free to use any teams that are not required. However, remember that we're going to be getting bonuses from War and Crucible, so obviously those teams will be big. Or if you have some massive characters that just aren't able to be utilized in this event respectively, well, you can use them in this first node because of the fact that they're allowed to be used in this first node. Now we'll talk about the next couple of nodes here, being nodes 2 and node 6. This is where it does actually force us to use both Out of Time and Cabal as kind of that bottleneck. Now, a couple of tips with each one. You can see here on the left, my Out of Time team, I mean, the biggest thing is having a big Black Knight. I never brought any of my characters beyond gear tier 18 in terms of just Captain America and Carter being that provided support. And again, I have the gameplay guides below if you guys need reference, but this is a tricky one because you do need to understand the attack order here. But having a bigger Black Knight, and pardon the ISO 8 there, but if you have him as a striker ISO 8 instead of the fortifier that you see on screen, he can do a little bit more damage and synergize a bit more with some of the vulnerables that are placed across the enemies. that's going to allow you to be able to thrive. And Black Knight does carry quite hard on these notes, but I wanted to point this out that this was able to get me all the rewards and all of the stars for Old Man Logan. So that means you just don't need to overinvest. They're a fading war team, and they're losing value as new teams are getting released, right? But for the meantime, anyways, this gets the job done until they add in some alternative teams that we can utilize here. Now, Note 6, this is the Cabal mixture. Guys, it really does not matter how strong your Emma Frost or Loki is. That's really the point I'm trying to drive home. As you can see, they're sitting there comfortably in their orange gear. It's the Cabal show. They're amazing characters. I mean, you can, there's been options that you can bring them into Age of X, which means you can actually push them beyond Gear Tier 19, as you see on screen there. But for me, I just kept them at Gear Tier 19. But they got Crucible, they got Dark Dimension value. They're utilized in Shadow King Trials, Age of X progression. And again, just don't overinvest in Emma or as well as Loki because of the fact that they're just not going to be utilized in the end game. But Cabal, by all means, build them as high as you want. They're a really good team. They're fun, and they got value in all aspects of the game. Next up, we got nodes 3 and 7. And I believe this is actually the Cosmic Bile section, which is a bit of an interesting one, to be honest, because of the fact that there's some really good characters here now that's been revised, right? So previously, we had some of the Nowhere team being utilized, and heck, I wouldn't even recommend Nova anymore, and even Void Knight, he's out of the meta, but Skrull is a big one if you have him unlocked, but even if you don't, remember, now the new Fantastic Four team can be utilized as options. We have Hyperion, part of the Thunderbolts team, and we even have those key members of Annihilators with Gore and Gladiator being part of those options now. They can get the job done, guys, and chances are you might have them already built up in the current meta, but these characters I would highly recommend over characters like Nova, Void Knight, just because of they're losing and fading value, and again, they're no longer part of the meta. And I love the fact that Fantastic Four is part of this, so they're going to absolutely crush this going forward. We haven't had a chance to test it out, but they will wreak havoc now on these revised Cosmic Bile nodes. Nodes 4 and 8. Well, this is hero skill section here, and to be honest, this was previously the bottleneck of this event because of the fact that you needed some certain strategies involved with Spire Society and sacking a couple times. As you can see on the left here, I call it the old way because this is the way we used to do it, which was you throw in a team or two, you sack the initial attacks, and again, if you're confused with what I'm talking about, I have the gameplay video link below, but essentially there's a bunch of Sinister 6, Superior 6 characters that are going to unload some damage on you, so that's why you need an initial fodder sack team, and then you bring in Spire Society plus Black Knight. Once again, guys, Black Knight absolutely being a massive clutch carry for these trial events because he can actually do a lot of damage as well on these nodes. But now, guys, what I want to point your attention to is newer is better. Remember, key members of Liberty, including Peggy Carter, Captain America Sam, and now we also have Vigilante, the full-on investment of them being part of the Chapter 1 Harbinger events. My goodness, I can't say enough good things about the Vigilante team. They're just used everywhere, so you got key members here like Hitmonkey, Silver Sable, Daredevil Modern, bring them in. They're going to absolutely wreak havoc on this section, just because with them being obviously part of the skill raid meta, but as well, Age of X value, Quasar Trials value, check across the board. Absolutely insane, guys. So now what was difficult before is definitely a lot easier now with some of these synergies there. And then nodes 5 and 9, guys, I'm not gonna say too much. This is the any villain section. Bringing Cabal to finish it off, but I mean, you can use basically half your roster here because it's all villain characters, so I'm not going to talk too much about that, guys. So hope this helps. This is how I was able to max our rewards, and like I said, when you're doing all that, you should get north of 14 million points, which should get you all the freebies here, including all the way up to the 7 yellow of Old Man Logan, guys. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this is a good overview for you guys in terms of what to invest in to maximize these rewards. Do let me know, and again, guys, any likes, any thumbs up on the channel does help. So thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.